Okay, got a new project today. We had a few drops of water getting inside the RV. And this is a Mach 8 air conditioner. So we got up here to look and we found the problem. The problem was the screw was stripped out. So not getting a good amount of pressure on the gasket, I guess, is part of the problem. The other problem is the dang screws are so small. We don't like that. Look at this screw. This is 4 of these screws is all there is holding this air conditioner on top of this RV. So we're going to try to make an improvement. And also they're just self-tapping, so they just tap into a real thin, like 1/8 thickness of aluminum that it has to hold this down. So we got an ideal, because I can get my skinny arm down in here. We're going to install, where they at? We're going to go with some 1/4-inch bolts, washers, and nuts, so we get this to pull down much tighter. And of course there's no chance of this tripping out, not like this will.
Lock nuts.
Yep, and we're using lock nuts so it can't back off. And you can see, like, well, back over here, this is where the screw goes. Let me see so we've already drilled this out to a 1/4-inch hole, and we went all the way down through and then opened up the hole in the roof where the aluminum piece is down below. So, because we had to do that because we're using a bigger bolt than from the factory use. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to get my little skinny little arm in there, put some nuts and washers on it, and get all of that. And we're going to try to seal the gasket a little bit better than, because they'd use silicone. I'll show you here in a second. That silicone wasn't sticking for nothing to that gasket material. Yeah, so we bought, because we didn't know what we needed exactly, 3.5 or 4.
Here's the original.
So it would have been nice if we had to thread it all the way down, so we couldn't find those at Lowe's. So we end up the 3.5 is what's working for us. And to make sure we line up, we put the original bolts back in diagonally to hold it, so we know it's in the right position. Then we drilled the other diagonals, this one and this one, and put those in place. So now we've got these in place. Now we're going to pull these 2 out and drill them out to 1/4-inch. So we'll know everything's in the same position, just got bigger, stronger bolts. We're just doing a dry run, then we're going to lift it up, put some sealant down, and then put it back down, and then we'll put the nuts and bolts on it. Get her good and snug. Okay, so now I'm trying to show you between the air conditioner and the roof of the RV. And you can see, it's hard to do, there we go. So you can see back right in there, maybe that's about a 1/4-inch thick aluminum. That's what the air conditioner screws down into. That's, instead of using those self-tapping screws, that's where we're going to run down a 1/4-inch bolt, then on the back side put a locking nut and a washer. So, but also we notice, you can see the foam here, it has no sticky residue on it whatsoever. This silicone, you see here from the factory, still stuck to fiberglass, but had just no adhesion at all to this foam block that they're using as a big gasket. So we're going to do something different. We're going to use some polyurethane. Of course, it's going to be more of a permanent thing. Now in the future, if we ever try to take this air conditioner off, it ain't going to be no fun, because that polyurethane is going to stick and probably tear the gasket and all that stuff. But the more important thing is to make sure that we have a good seal, and that we absolutely have no more chance of water getting in here. And so while we was under here working, we noticed something else. We was looking at this little divider, because this divider separates your return air from your cold air. So air is being pulled up from this side, from in the RV. It goes up, goes through the evaporator to make it cold, and then blows it back down into this hole. This divider is very important because it separates more or less the warm air from the cold air. And we was measuring, and we noticed, even from the factory, it didn't look like they put the right thickness of foam, because this piece of foam here by itself would not reach the top of this metal. So it would allow air to cross over, unconditioned air, to get circulated right back into the RV. So I had some of this peel and stick foam, so we put 2 layers on that. So that's raised it up about a 1/2 inch, so that should get us a tighter seal, and actually may get a little better performance out of the air conditioner. So it's always something. It's always something. So we're going to put our sealant on here and slowly lower this and see how it turns out. Okay, so you see we got a good bead of polyurethane all the way around. So we're going to carefully lower it down, fit in our bolts, and that should give us a good, tight, watertight seal. Keep out that water. Water and RVs do not mix. Okay, so we got our, you can see we got our 1/4 inch bolts installed and torqued it down. It's really good and solid now. And actually, if you go down here and see, you can see with that black polyurethane. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's dang bright. But anyway, I can see it. But you can see where the black polyurethane is oozing out from underneath the gasket. One last thing I wanted to point out, I was talking about that foam piece that separates, the warm air comes up through the RV, passes the coil, and it gets blown back into the RV. And how important this piece of foam is, and you can see it right in here, and actually you can feel it. So it might be something you might want to do if you have a Mach 8 or any air conditioner like this. Make sure it's sealed all the way across, because if you have poor air conditioner performance, that could be part of the reason right there. Because if it's not sealed well, you're not you're not cooling the correct air. You just be spinning it around and around. Anyhow, I think we got this little project finished and done with. On to the next. Thanks for watching. See you, bye.